world you never understand, and you always fear.
Not the hero we deserved, but the hero we needed.
But what I do, that defines me.
Good cop, bad cop routine.
He thinks you're dangerous.
What do you think?
He didn't do anything wrong.
Because it's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now.
Because that's what needs to happen.
No, you complete me.
The hell are you supposed to be?
To them, you're just a freak. Like me.
I'm vengeance. I'm Batman.
He's the Dark Knight, the silent guardian of Gotham. But what if the symbol of hope is also Gotham's greatest curse? For every life Batman saves, destruction follows in his shadow. He fights for justice, yet his presence births chaos. He saves lives, but at what cost? For every criminal he stops, another rises to challenge him. Gotham adores him, fears him, depends on him. But does it need him? Is he the hero we celebrate, or the menace we fear? The answer isn't black and white. And just like the Dark Knight himself, the truth lurks in the shadows between savior and destroyer, between the Batman we need and the Batman we deserve. For 8 decades, one question has haunted Gotham's rain-soaked streets. When the sun sets and that black cape unfurls against the night sky, what exactly rises with it? Fear. But here's the twist. That same shadow that makes hardened killers tremble in the dark, it's the same one that lets innocent children sleep soundly in their beds. But Gotham? Oh, Gotham. This city wasn't exactly a shining beacon of hope before the Bat took flight. Crime families carved up neighborhoods like birthday cake. Corruption flowed through police precincts as freely as coffee. The poor got poorer, the rich got richer, and everyone in between just tried to survive another night. Then, he appeared. One man's answer to a city's prayer, or perhaps its curse. A billionaire who chose to dress like a bat and punch evil in the face. It sounds almost absurd when you say it out loud, doesn't it? But here's where our story takes a darker turn. As Batman cast his shadow across Gotham's underworld, that darkness bred something far more sinister than common thugs. Where once stood mob bosses in tailored suits, now grinned painted faces dripping with madness. Street muggers gave way to fear-toxin terrorists. Bank robbers evolved into riddle-obsessed masterminds. And the bodies? They didn't just pile up. They became artwork for psychopaths. Each crime scene more theatrical than the last. Each victim a twisted love letter to the Bat himself. Before we condemn the Dark Knight, let's remember why Gotham first embraced its shadowy guardian. A man who chose pain over peace, sacrifice over silence. Think about it. Bruce Wayne could have drowned his trauma in luxury. Instead, he spent 7 years forging himself into a weapon. Not for glory, not for vengeance, but because someone had to stand between innocence and evil. Watch him dive into burning buildings while others run out. See him shield a child with his own body as bullets rain down. Notice how he appears, again and again, in that split second between life and death, between hope and despair, between one more tragedy and one more sunrise. In a city drowning in blood, he offers justice without death, redemption without revenge. When the Joker begs to be killed, Batman's response isn't just mercy. It's a declaration that Gotham's soul is worth saving. And this is where the magic happens. Watch closely. It's not just about the lives he saves, it's about the lives he transforms. Every cop who refuses a bribe because Batman showed them a better way. Every kid who stands up to a bully because they learned courage from a shadow. Every citizen who finally believes that evil doesn't always win. Jim Gordon said it best. He's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. But was he right? Look at the evidence. Before Batman, Gotham's knights belonged to the corrupt. Its streets were owned by predators. Its children grew up believing that good people finish last. But Batman? He didn't just fight the darkness. He taught others to fight it too. When he took Dick Grayson under his wing, he wasn't creating a sidekick. He was proving that trauma doesn't have to define you. That pain can be transformed into purpose. And when Bane held Gotham hostage, something extraordinary happened. Ordinary people found their courage. They looked into the dark and saw themselves. Not the Bat, not the mask, but the choice to stand up. The choice to fight back. The choice to believe in something bigger than fear. That signal in the sky? It's not calling for a man. It's not even calling for a hero. It's calling for hope. For the promise that in Gotham's darkest hour, someone will answer. Someone will come. Someone will fight. While we debate Batman's methods, real heroes put on uniforms every day. Police, firefighters, EMTs, working within the system to save lives. But when that system fails, when corruption runs deep, when legal channels seem blocked, what options remain? Would you break the law to serve justice? Because maybe, just maybe, the real question isn't whether Batman creates monsters. Maybe the real question is, in a city already full of monsters, what else could possibly stand against them? But let's pull back the curtain of heroism for a moment. Let's look at what the Tourism Board of Gotham doesn't show in their brochures. The streets aren't just wet with rain anymore. They're wet with the tears of collateral damage. Count them, one by one. The buildings collapsed during high-speed chases. The homes destroyed in explosive confrontations. The businesses, family legacies built over generations, reduced to rubble because Batman needed a battleground. Insurance companies in Gotham now have a specific code for damage by vigilante activity. Let that sink in. But the physical destruction? That's just the surface wound. The real cancer lies deeper. Remember the Joker's words, "You change things forever." He wasn't wrong. Before the Bat, criminals feared the law. After him, they needed to become something more, something worse, something that could dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. Watch the evolution. Simple bank robberies become elaborate spectacles. Street thugs transform into themed assassins. Every criminal in Gotham asking themselves, how do I get Batman's attention? And the answer, inevitably, involves more chaos, more casualties, more carnage. And here's the bitter pill. Bruce Wayne, with all his billions, chose to spend his fortune on military-grade vehicles and weaponry. Imagine for a moment if he'd invested that same wealth in education, in poverty reduction, in mental health facilities. How many villains might never have been born? How many Jokers could have been prevented with proper psychiatric care? Let's talk about justice, Batman's version of it. No warrant, no Miranda rights, no due process. Just a man in a mask deciding who deserves to have their bones broken tonight. We cheer because we see who he chooses to hurt. But who gave him that right? Who watches the Watchmen in the shadows? Listen to them. The new generation of Gotham's criminals. They don't do it for money anymore. They do it for fame, for the chance to be the one who finally brings down the Bat. He's not preventing crime. He's inspiring it. Every punch he throws plants the seeds for tomorrow's supervillain. Harvey Dent said it best before he became Two-Face. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. But what if the very act of becoming Batman, of deciding that one man can stand above the law, was the villainous turn? What if every criminal he created was just a reflection of his own fundamental break from society's rules? It's a perpetual motion machine of escalation. Batman builds bigger weapons, so the villains build bigger bombs. He dons stronger armor, so they devise deadlier poisons. Every solution he creates spawns 10 new problems. And Gotham's caught in the crossfire, watching its sky fill with more bats and more clowns, more fear and more chaos. Every time a protest turns violent, every time a revolution sparks counter-revolution, every time someone fights fire with fire, we face Batman's dilemma. Look at your own city's struggles with power and justice. How many problems have we solved with force, only to create 2 more in their place? When was the last time violence truly ended violence? Imagine being 8 years old, watching your parents' blood seep into the pearls scattered across Crime Alley. Now fast forward 30 years. You're still there, aren't you, Bruce? Every night, every punch, every dive from every rooftop. The Bat wasn't chosen by accident. You needed something that could terrify others the way you were terrified. But here's the real tragedy. The cave you fell into as a child became the cave you built as a man. A prison of your own making, where every new villain becomes another chance to save Thomas and Martha Wayne. The question isn't whether Batman is what Gotham needs. It's whether Batman is what Bruce Wayne needs to keep from falling into that endless abyss of grief. From entrepreneurs building companies to solve problems they faced, to activists sparked by personal tragedy, we're surrounded by people who, like Bruce Wayne, transformed their trauma into action. But at what cost to themselves? Look in the mirror. Are your own crusades healing you or keeping your wounds fresh? Walk through Gotham's streets and you'll hear 1,000 different Batmen. To the cop on the beat, he's either a godsend or a vigilante menace. Depends on how clean their badge is. The mother in Crime Alley clutches her purse tighter when she sees the signal, not because she fears Batman, but because she knows whatever's coming is bad enough to need him. The recovering addict at the clinic thanks him for shutting down their dealer. The dealer's orphaned kids curse him for taking away their father. Even the criminals can't agree. Some fear the Bat, others crave his attention, like a drug. Maybe that's the truth about Batman. He's not a hero or a menace. He's a mirror, reflecting back whatever version of justice or vengeance Gotham needs to see. Perhaps we've been asking the wrong question all along. Hero or menace? The answer is as complex as Gotham itself. Batman is a response to corruption, to fear, to powerlessness. He's the city's shadow-given form, its darkest impulses and highest aspirations, wearing a cape and cowl. The real question isn't whether Gotham needs Batman. It's whether Gotham created him, shaped him, demanded him. In the end, Batman isn't just fighting criminals in the streets. He's fighting for the soul of a city that may have lost its own long ago. And maybe that's what makes him both hero and menace. His stubborn refusal to believe that even the darkest night can't give way to dawn. Here stands the Dark Knight, protector or plague, savior or curse. As Gotham trembles in his wake, we're left with one chilling question. Is Batman truly heroic or horrific? When the bat signal shines, is it a beacon of hope or a warning of chaos? Drop your verdict below, because in the world of the bat, every choice has a price. And if you crave more untold truths, hit subscribe. This is just the beginning. Next week, we're asking a bigger question. Would Superman be a hero or a threat to humanity?